Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel, New York Times. Trump says Cuba will no longer get oil or money from Venezuela. New York Post. Trump suggests Marco Rubio could soon get another job, president of Cuba. This is exactly why. Check this out.
Was talking to Hannity, or President Trump rather, talking about the fact that he doesn't believe Cuba, something you're very familiar with, can survive without the Venezuelan oil. Here's a soundbite. I want you to listen to this and give us a response.
Cuba totally relies on Venezuela for money and for oil, and they give Venezuela protection. That was always the deal. They're very tough. They're good soldiers. They got wiped out, as you know, 3 days ago, wiped out. I don't want to even say how many, but they got wiped out. But Cuba gives protection to Venezuela, and Venezuela gives Cuba money through oil.
You agree, Senator?
I think the president is exactly right. You look at Cuba, the communist regime there has existed 67 years. For the first number of decades, they existed because the Soviet Union supported them financially. And then America, we won the Cold War and defeated the Soviet Union. Soviet Union collapsed. And Venezuela stepped in as essentially daddy warbucks and began providing them money. And the corrupt trade that has been happening for years is that Cuba provides thugs. They provide military and soldiers who oppress the Venezuelan people. It's the Cubans that Hugo Chavez and Maduro used to oppress the Venezuelan people. And as the president referred, look, Chavez, or Maduro rather, was protected by Cubans. His entire security detail around him were Cuban soldiers, and Delta Force came in and took them all out. It's been publicly reported 32 Cuban guards were killed. As the president referenced there, I've seen reports that it was actually a lot more than 32. And we didn't have a single fatality. I mean, it remains extraordinary.
The president said they came in helicopters and they came down, just like you see in the movies, on these ropes and got him before he could get to a safe room. You know how bad Cuba can be, because your dad, he was imprisoned there. He was tortured. He had $100 sewn into his clothes when he came here to America and then graduated from UT. And he's still alive to see all of your success.
He is 86. He's going strong. And I'll tell you, Cuba used to be, it was the biggest sugar producer in Latin America. It was prosperous, and communism destroyed it. Venezuela seems the same journey. I'll tell you an amazing stat. In 1950, do you know that Venezuela had the 4th highest GDP per capita of any country on planet Earth? In 1950, number 1 was the United States. Number 2 was Switzerland. Number 3 was New Zealand, and number 4 was Venezuela. They've got the largest proven oil reserves of any country on earth. They've got the largest gold reserves. And the Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro, 2 communists, came in, utterly destroyed the economy. It's the same thing the Castros did in Cuba. And the Cuban economy is in free fall right now. I think this is the most promising time of our lifetimes to see the communist regime fall. And I'll tell you, if the communist regime falls in Cuba, you will see a lot of Cuban Americans with a lot of resources eager to invest, to go and turn that country around. I think it could be an island paradise if the communists were out of power and free enterprise were allowed to come back.
It just shows you the folly of the Obama administration, the prop up with the Castro brother.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, you have the very real possibility that very soon Cuba will become an ally of the United States, or no longer have communism, hopefully a much wealthier country, and a country that, you know, a lot of Americans will want to go to rebuild. Hit subscribe to this channel. This could only happen with President Trump. And if Venezuela is not getting oil from Cuba, Cuba is not getting the money from Venezuela, both countries will have regime changes without major military interventions. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. And I'm against regime change in the manner that Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld have engaged in. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Bye.